Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host. I am joined this week by
BC.
And on his left is
BB.
And across from him on the keyboards is
Dylan.
And how's everybody doing out there? Hope everybody's doing good, enjoying maybe some touches of spring here in Pennsylvania. It's actually pretty cold here today, but we had some warm days. Some of the snow banks are gone down to manageable size. So then when we get the next snowstorm, my snowblower will be able to actually blow the snow above into the yard again because it was getting too high. It was fucking just coming back down to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
But hope everyone's doing good out there. And how you guys doing? What are you doing, baby?
Better than last week, that's for sure. Everything is cleared up and everything is A-okay.
Yeah, we had the little COVID scare going on there at BB Manor.
Yeah, but everything is
cool.
A-okay. Everybody failed their test. Both boys failed their tests, so thank God that's a test they're failing and not their school test. But
That's true. That's true.
That's the test you want them to fail.
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
How about you, Dylan?
I'm feeling a lot better. Last time I was under the effects of my second COVID vaccine, so I was really struggling. The next day I was out for the count, but I'm better now. At 100% besides the eye strain I have today, but other than that, all good.
All right. BC, what you got going?
I'm standing on one leg.
Standing on one leg, drinking his Crown and iced tea.
I once knew a man with a wooden leg named Schmidt.
Yeah.
What was the name of his other leg?
Dirty looks, one bad leg.
Yeah.
That's a good album. All right. Before we get going,
Righty, what the fuck are you up to, though?
me?
Yeah.
Nothing, not
right.
much. Just
All right, just wondering. I don't know.
enjoying life.
We went around the table.
No one ever asked me. No.
Okay. See, that's why we don't ask you. You're never fucking doing anything.
I'm doing
He
good.
always
I'm
skips
doing good.
himself.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I have an actual day off tomorrow from everywhere, so I'm gonna probably do nothing. But who knows? I may go look for some vinyl tomorrow, perhaps. But I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
Before we get going, I talked to BC about this a little bit. How about that Kiss 45 record on eBay?
Crazy.
If you guys out there have been following it, it's supposedly one of the rarest Kiss things out there. There's supposedly only 3 in existence, and it started at 99 cents, no reserve.
So what's on this?
It's Let Me Go Rock and Roll. There's 45 of Let Me Go Rock and Roll, and I guess there was only 3 made, or like 180 made altogether, I think. But there's only 3 of them known to be in existence nowadays.
Judy threw mine up.
She was listening to Surrender. She got your Kiss records out.
Threw them up. Not that one. Not that one.
You failed your history test? Out the window.
Have you seen BC's grades?
It sold for like $8,500. It was like $8,556.56 or something like that. Just insane price. Like I watched this. I was watching. Oh, there it is. Oh, thanks, BC. Yeah, it went for $8,500. $8,563.53. Wow.
Who the hell came up with that?
What's on the B side of that one?
Hotter Than Hell is on the other side.
The B side should have been the winner ladder.
And the one, yeah, really. And the one of the 3 in existence has Ace's autograph on it, and that's worth less because it's not perfect. You know what I mean? It's not pristine. But what do you guys think of that? Imagine going home, hey, I won my auction on eBay. Well, what'd you win? A 45. Oh, how much you pay? What? I mean, hey, to each his own, but I mean, like, wow, that's just. What's your thoughts, BB?
Yeah, the last time I saw it, it was at like $6,000. I'm like, I cannot believe people just have ridiculous amounts of money just to spend on that. But maybe down the road it's going to be like an investment. Maybe after maybe after vinyl dies and then vinyl picks back up again 25 years down the road, maybe they'll double their money. I don't know.
That dude will be dead, and his kids will probably throw it out with the rest of his shit when he dies.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know who won. I wanted to get online and watch it as it was winding down, but I got busy and I wasn't able to. So I'm sure it was like a fucking feeding frenzy at the end there. But just crazy. What do you think, Dylan? You got it for me for my birthday, didn't you?
Yeah, surprise.
Atta boy.
Yes.
I took out even more loans from Sally Mae to afford it. No, it's just, as somebody who owes like tens of thousands of dollars, I cannot see spending that much amount of money for a 45 record. That it's mind-boggling to me. It really makes me hate people and hate humanity that something like that can go for that much money, and that people can just be like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it for this.
I'm gonna get it no matter what.
Yeah.
In Sunny Pony, we are sorry. Dylan's opinion does not represent the other three of the Pot of the Hell podcast because we know you're the one who bought it.
He's the one that got it for me for my birthday. Thank you, Sonny. What do you think, BC?
Crazy.
What was your maximum bid?
I don't know.
$10.
I cried when I got the Lizzy Bordens for 130 some bucks an album. I cried.
I did too.
But
and I ended up buying fucking 2 of them.
You bought 2 of them. But I can't imagine paying $8,500. Like I said, I was like, oh my god. When I was
I don't want
130. I can't imagine $8,500.
Like back in the 60s, you could probably buy a fucking house for that.
You could.
Sure.
You could buy
Easily.
A car. You could buy 2 cars. Think about it.
That's crazy. I just wanted to discuss it real quick because it's we're Kiss fans and it's a Kiss thing. It's crazy because they actually Julian on FAQ had actually the 3 guys on there that had all 3. They did a show on it and they were talking about it going on Forbidden stuff because the one guy,
It's like that Triforce from Legend of Zelda.
yeah. So they were talking about it, and Tom Shannon is the guy that had it and put it up for auction. So, but it's just crazy. If you want to, if you listen to the FAQ podcast, that episode in it, it's really good. It's pretty interesting. Like they talk about how they got theirs and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So check that out as well. All right. So after that, this little discussion here, what are we all listening to? How about you, Dylan? What are you listening to?
I checked out Alice Cooper's latest Detroit Stories a little bit. It's very much rock and roll Alice, the classic rock feel to it. Very Schools Out, $1 Billion Babies era Alice that's going on. A lot of it I already heard from the EP that came out, Breadcrumbs I think it was. Mm-hmm. But some of the new stuff's good. It's cool. It's not the Alice that I absolutely love. I prefer the heavier Alice, but I like it. It's not bad. It's a fun album for sure. He's having a good time. You can tell.
Yeah, it's still not his touring band though.
No.
But actually a thing came out this week that said that the next album he's going to record with his touring band.
Oh, that's good.
Well, they're on tour like next year whenever they go back out. He's gonna record with that band, which
they're fantastic.
That's gonna be fucking fantastic. Absolutely.
They have such good chemistry live.
Yep. How about you, BC?
Elton John.
Attaboy.
This is some Elton John Diamonds. It's like 3 CD of the greatest hits.
Yeah, it just came out.
And
couple of months ago.
listen to that in
I
the
thought
car.
he was fucking with me.
I do. Okay. That's why
Listen,
I
Elton
laugh.
John's fantastic. And
I'm not saying he's not, but it's.
we're going to be talking about
We're
Elton
gonna be
John
talking
later
about-
tonight.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell you what.
But I mean, story behind it. My wife's an Elton John fan, so she was in the truck. Of course, can I play something of mine? I'm like, all right. And he just kind of stayed in for the last few days. Not bad. I mean, hey, give the guy some.
No, he's got some good stuff.
He's got some good
Technically,
stuff.
I've experienced Elton John live because Mom was pregnant with me when she went to go see Billy Joel Elton John.
That's true.
It's like, that's true.
How about you, BB?
I checked out the new song from Michael Sweet and Tracy Guns. They're called Sun Bomb. The actual song is called No Tomorrows. Not bad. Music's fantastic. I feel Michael's kind of stretching himself a little bit. I don't know. He's just not doing it freely. It seems like he's very stressed out. Like he needs to hit that heavy highness or something. And then I also checked out the self-titled Rat album. I think you picked it. You picked something off that album, and I never really.
Lovesick is my tune.
Oh, it was yours. Okay, so I had to listen to it and loved it. Loved this album.
Yeah, it's from 1999.
1999. Fantastic stuff. And I don't know why I never knew about it, had it. I don't understand how it skipped under the radar, but a fantastic album.
All right, cool. I love that. Yeah, that's good. And actually, in the Love and War episode, BC picked Tug of War.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, Tug of War was picked.
Tug of War was a BC song, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I like that album. I think it's really good. And that was just, they recorded that as a 4-piece because it was Robbie Crane on bass and Bobby Blotzer, Warren, and Steven. So good picks there, BB. I heard the Sunbomb one as well. I didn't mind it. But it's Michael plays no guitars on it. He's just vocals on that. So
it's just weird. I don't know. I hope the album's a little bit.
Maybe I'll have to listen.
Check it out.
I didn't really notice that.
He's really getting out there. I'm like,
maybe he was just doing it. Maybe he thought it would serve the song better. I don't know.
Maybe.
I didn't notice that. I'm gonna have to listen to it again. I did a little live album binge, spinning some vinyl the last couple nights. Lil Y&T, Judas Priest, Ozzy, and actually Pretty Maid's Made in Japan is on the turntable right now at the house. And I got to tell you, BB said he listened to it last week and didn't care for it, or 2 weeks ago, whenever. The Durbin album, I must have listened to that fucking album 15 times in the last, 4 days.
yo.
I think it's great. The production's a little, but you know what? It's fucking fantastic. I love it. I'm fucking loving it. The solos on it are fucking ripping. The song he does with Chris Jericho is really cool. I've been binging the fuck out of that. So that's what we're listening to. Myself, some live albums: Ozzy, Dio, Priest, Y&T, and Durbin. BC has got some Elton John diamonds going. Sun Bomb, No Tomorrows, and Rat, the 1999 self-titled album for BB. And Dylan's got the Alice Cooper Detroit Stories album. I like it too. Very good. So before we get rolling into the episode, let's listen to this.
The Potter Than Hell podcast presents Random Thoughts with Sonny Hollywood Pooty.
What do you think McDonald's does with the second top bun of the Big Mac?
Was that it?
That was it.
It's top of the muffin to you.
I was thinking about that. They have a guy that comes in like Newman, the fixer, and he eats
tops
them.
of the buns.
Maybe he does like Kobayashi does on the hot dog eating contest. Like they dip the bun in the water and he just eats it like a sponge.
Pulls a what's his name? Joey Chestnut.
Oh, Joey Chestnut. Yeah. What do you think, BB?
I think it is one of the ingredients in the pink goo for their McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Is that an actual thing?
Remember that? Remember, it was 2 years ago. There was pictures on the internet. There was pink goo, and they're saying that's what the chicken nuggets are made out of.
No. Yeah.
Ew.
Well, that was the point of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's real chicken.
See, if it was the bottom, I would find it harder to think of what they could get. But everybody likes the top of the bun, so I'm sure that there's creative ways they get rid of it, or they just probably.
But is it an actual bottom bun though, or is it its own bun?
I think it's a bottom of a bun, because I think if you look at it, because it's got the.
I never noticed.
Yeah. I'm not a big.
I haven't
guy,
eaten McDonald's
so, yeah.
in forever.
So if you're gonna take that off, it'd be the bottom of the bun, and you know.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it is the bottom of a bun.
You do, or is it? All right, out there, guys. What would you do? What would you do with the? What do you think they do with the bottom bun? Because then I don't know. That's weird. I seriously I think it's its own bun. I think it's a separate bun.
I'm sure it is. In all honesty, I'm sure that they make the top.
Because they're not gonna do something and throw shit away.
Yeah.
They'd rather make something separate than throw away millions of top buns.
Yeah.
So
they can make almost like a pizza bagel with
from the twisted mind of Sonny Pooney. All right, this week. Oh, wait a minute. Speaking of Sonny Pooney, he was on last week, and we did the Decades Jukebox.
Yep.
And which is weird because I usually forget to do the the famous or the random thoughts and talk about the other episodes. But we had Sonny on last week. We did the Decades Jukebox. We did the year 2000 to 2009. BC could not make it. It was his lovely wife's 50th birthday. Happy birthday once again, Renee. And we did read BC's picks. What'd you think, BC or BB?
Great episode. It's almost some of the dates were kind of tough, but just amazing. Like what really good kick-ass music came out of that time. That people our age are like, oh, you throw a band, oh, they don't make music anymore, and like they're releasing. 90% of my list were bands who released albums in the 80s. They're still releasing albums 20 years later. So, I thought it was a really, really great episode and a lot of really good music out at that time.
Yeah, I always love doing the Decades Jukebox stuff because it really has us dig deep for bands that, the 2000s, it was a tough time for hard rock because it was kind of changing. There was rap rock going on, and new metal was pretty big as well. So it was a tough time for bands that we liked, but we were able to find some really good stuff. We reamed on a couple of BC's picks a little bit, but it was a fun time.
Should have liked them.
Well, that's why, and I'll ask BC about it in a second. But BC, you know how many shows we've seen in the 2000s? We've seen a fucking assload of concerts. I mean, there were times where it was like almost back in the 80s when there were like you'd go to like 2 concerts a week. Because we've seen a lot of shows in that decade. I thought there was a lot of cool shit out there.
And a lot of shows outside of our wheelhouse, I guess you would say. Like some different bands. Like I've seen like Theory of a Dead Man and
like not our usual
stuff. Core stuff.
But like they get on because who was it? Actually, it was like September 13th, 2001. We saw Godsmack, Saliva, and Breaking Benjamin down at Montage, and like if it wasn't for that show, I don't know if I would have gone just to see Saliva or Breaking Benjamin. And they were just, I want to say it was Breaking Ben's first album maybe, because they were the first band that came on. But like shows like that, like you didn't get to see them many, because the one year I took Carson to his first concert, it was Hinder and Saving Abel and Papa Roach, and there was one more. There was like 4 bands. No, Nickelback. It was Nickelback, Hinder, Saving Abel, and Papa Roach. So, and it was funny. Carson, we walked through the lawn, and I said, okay, here's what the lawn is like. So here's a dude puking, and here I'm like, you smell that? Yeah, that's pot. Okay. So that was his first experience at a concert.
Concert 101.
Yes. So what did you think of that, Pete? I know you didn't participate in the episode, but you were in on the list and everything. So.
Oh, I mean the songs. I mean, like you said, there was so much stuff that even our wheelhouse that you didn't really hear about, but was being released. And there's newer stuff that, like you said, we probably would never heard of it, but through other things got tied in. Like Slive is one of them. Like that was more of a rapish rock.
Like some of it was, yeah.
Not all of it, but some of it.
Like tinges of hip hop or whatever the fuck in it.
Hip hopish, rapish.
Yeah.
Like Theory of a Dead Man. That was more.
And plus, I said it's episodes like that. I think Dylan likes them the most because he can slide in his out of format shit in the episode as well. So I thought it was fun. And once again, Sonny, thank you for coming on. And you can catch him on the Growing Up Rock podcast with his awesome partner Stephen Michael, and you can catch him on podcast Rock City with Joe Polo and Jody Havnot and Joey Casada, and he also does the record review crew on the Shout It Out Loud cast with Tom and Zeus. So you can catch him at all them venues and check out all those other podcasts because they're a lot of fun. So comeback albums. I had this idea for this show probably a year and a half ago, but we were just, for some reason, other shows came up and stuff, so we're finally getting to do it. And actually, the album that I picked was like exactly why I wanted to do this format, this comeback album thing. And so we're gonna go chronologically. So BC, you're up first. Which this is it, BC. The spotlight's going on you here. We got it. This is your big moment tonight, right here. This is it. It's all come to this for you.
I think it's a great album.
Okay. All right. Dylan, what do you think? What's your album? What are you doing? All right, we'll give you a little more time on that.
Everybody
BC.
has to guess. What is album?
Okay, I ranked that one last. Okay. What do you got, BC?
I'm going to go with my boy, Lizzy Borden. Every chance I get, I got to throw him on here. It's not too many times I get to throw him on here. So I'm going back to 2000, October 10th of 2000, when he his first album in 11 years with Deal with the Devil. And it was kind of a return to the touring lineup was 3/5 of the original lineup. Alex Nelson returned in for this album. His fifth album they came out with came in at 49 minutes and 12 seconds. The cover art, if anybody's not familiar with it, check it out. It was done by Todd McFarlane. I guess
McFarlane, yeah.
McFarlane.
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Spider-Man, Hulk, Spawn,
Yeah, he's the critter Spawn.
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. It was recorded at the Crypt in North Hollywood. Like I said, my main reason for picking this, it's the first album they after Master of Disguise and everything. The music scene changed a lot. And he pretty much went underground for a while there and didn't release any albums until 2000, which I'm drawing a blank on a guy from Metal Blade. Went out and told him to get back together, put another album out, and that's how this came about. So this lineup was Lizzy on vocals, Alex Nelson on guitars, Martin Anderson on bass, and of course Joey Scott on the drums. And Elliot Solomon, the producer, also played all the keys on it. Joey Vera from Armored Saint played bass on Love and Use Murder and Believe. And some Lewis, I'm going to kill this guy's last name.
Cypher.
Cypher, thank you. He played, he was like a session guitar player for all the songs. Michael Davis, the original Lizzy Borden bass player, played 4 and 12 string bass on Loving You Is Murder, The World Is Mine. David Michael Phillips. Who's that from? If it's the same guy, I don't know.
Michael Phelps, the swimmer.
No, I think.
Oh.
And Joe Steele's the assistant on lead guitar and
Brittany Fox?
Close.
You're in the wheelhouse.
King Cobra.
Okay.
I'm looking at that going, why is this sound familiar? Then there's another David Fitzgerald, assistant on the guitar and State of Pain. So the album opens up with There Will Be Blood Tonight. I think it gives a good opener, upbeat. You know, the bass on this album stands out, and of course it stands out very much on this song. And this has become pretty much the part of the show where he does the blood nowadays. And then, you know, I can't say it enough on this, is the guitar tone on this whole album, and the solo one is just Alex Nelson.
We got it already.
But Alex Nelson, God rest his soul. Second song to be Hell Is for Heroes, which is another upbeat rocker with the backing vocals, and again, cranking soul from Alex. This is the old school Lizzy Borden with the Deal with the Devil title track. Just very guitar driven song with the backing vocals with Go to Heaven, Go to Hell. BB likes to
Love it.
And then Zanzibar, I'm still pronouncing it wrong. It starts off with like Middle East type feel to it, like
Oh, yeah.
the guitar or whatever the frig, I don't know if it's even a guitar or not. Then the drums kick in with the bass. Just and then like has that mid-eastern feel in the background through the whole song. And like one of my favorite parts of this song is just
With the crash cymbal in the middle of the song.
That makes the whole song my thing. Track 5 be Loving You Is Murder, with a catchy chorus, older feel between the vocals and the bass going back, and then the solo on this, it just rips it up. And what really makes the solo that much more better to me is the bass in the background. The bass stands out very much on this. I still wish he had the bass player, but that's another episode. 6 would be We Only Come Out at Night. Very strong bass parts in this song. The chanting background vocals. And the way he sings the song to me is a little different than other songs, especially on this album and other albums. Decent solos on that one. Track 7, Generation Landslide, is the first of 2 covers on this album. It's an Alice Cooper cover. This is one of my favorites off there. Just love the way they do it. The World Is Mine is the next track, which the original bass player Mike is on this one, and has some woman doing spoken word in the beginning. I said, hey, see, even Lizzy had spoken
Scripture
word.
from Ezekiel.
But with the, Lizzy's scream comes into the song. Catchy chorus in between the bass and the double bass in the song that just sticks out in my head. Track number 9 would be State of Pain. Overall, it's just a very catchy tune with all the characteristics of Lizzy Borden from day one to this album, all in one song. Track 10 is going to be their second cover on the album. This ain't The Summer of Love, it's a Blue Oyster Cult, which I didn't know that until I actually got the album. Never heard the song before. But then again, Blue Oyster Cult back in the day was never on my radar.
You're gonna soon.
But I love this is one of the standout songs on here, I think. And then the American release finishes up with Believe, which is probably my favorite song on the whole fucking album. Because the vocals, the guitar groove, the drums, the bass part right before the guitar solo is cool, and then it goes to Alex Nelson. There was a Japanese, I don't know, I never seen it. There's a Japan bonus track. I don't know if it's on a vinyl or a CD of it. We Burned the Sky, a Scorpions cover. Never heard it.
Yeah, it's from the Uli John Roth era.
Maybe that's it.
Actually, you even saw the Scorpions do that. You saw Scorpions do that.
Scorpions.
That show at with Whitesnake and Dokken down at the arena that we talked about when we did the
okay.
Whitesnake one. They played that song that night.
I'm drawing a blank on it, but that's on the Japan release. But overall, this was, some reviews I like it, some of the reviews don't like it. Hit and miss, but I was just happy that Lizzy was putting another album out at that time after nothing for 11 years. I like it.
Do it.
Lizzy Borden.
Yeah, so this was the one that I was most interested in listening to because I had never heard it. The only thing I had heard was the cover of Generation Landslide. I think you used it for one of the covers episodes, and I was like, okay, that's an okay Alice cover. It's not my favorite. So I was going into this album curious how it was going to sound, and let me tell you, I was really impressed with that. I really, really enjoyed it. It was nice and heavy. It had that punch to it. I like the album cover from Todd McFarlane. Really cool to see him do album covers. He also did the Iced Earth album cover for the album that was based on Spawn. But I think that the album is a super metal album. I love the Pulp Fiction reference with the Ezekiel 25:17. The path of the righteous man is set on all sides, but it's from Pulp Fiction, guys.
Yeah.
And I will
thinking, why
strike
do I
down
know
upon
that?
thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who threaten to poison and destroy my brothers.
It didn't have the punch that Samuel L. had.
Yeah, as I was listening to it, I'm like, yep, okay. I
It
know
reminded
exactly
me
what
of the
this is.
girl at the beginning of I Hate Everyone, but that what you call it, the Ugly Kid Joe song.
Oh.
Is this the band that?
Yeah.
That's who reminded me of talking. I'm sorry, Dylan. Go ahead.
But this is a fantastic album. I love the opener, There Will Be Blood Tonight. The title track is really great. I love The World Is Mine. That's a song that I had heard before, but I didn't remember it until I listened to it. I think, honestly, the weakest parts for me are the covers because the originals are so strong, in my opinion. The solos are great. I think Lizzy's vocals are really out there and fitting of the song very well. I was really impressed with this, I have to say. I wasn't dreading it so much as I was curious how it was going to go because I've heard, My Midnight Things was probably the Lizzy album that I'm most aware of besides Visualize. So I was wondering, is it going to fall more towards the Visualize? Is it going to go more towards My Midnight Things? It's kind of in its own thing. It's very much an album of the time, I think. It has that early 2000s metal feel like Fight. It has that edge to it, that rawness, that in the production that I think really fits with this kind of music. But I really enjoyed it. This was a good pick, BC. So you might turn me into a Lizzy Borden fan yet.
Get the blood.
Yeah, Oh, I'm a Lizzy Borden fan already. I always think of Lizzy Borden like in the same realm as like Blackie Lawless. Like they have very easy sounding, very easy on your ears vocals, and they put behind them some heavy ass music, which is a great recipe for some kick ass music. I'm the opposite of Dylan. I really the Generation Landslide, the Alice Cooper cover. See, I teeter on the Alice Cooper. I thought that was a really good cover, because I'm not really.
I thought it was a good cover too, but I think that the originals are so strong,
right,
that they just kind of pale in comparison.
Right.
It's still
I'd rather this compared to the original.
Okay, that's understandable.
You know what I mean? Because I'm not there yet. I teeter with Alice Cooper, but Deal with the Devil. I was singing that song coming in today. A great song. Chorus is really, really catchy. Some fantastic harmonies on this. Another one I really enjoyed was There'll Be Blood Tonight. It's a great opener. The drums kick ass in this. Soloing is amazing. Love like the marching drum verse, like right after the solo towards like the end of the song. Really, really cool. Easily my favorite song on this album is Loving You Is Murder. I love the harmonies on this song. The background vocals are so cool. Once again, the solo just fucking kicks ass. And to me, this would be like a very radio friendly, like throw them on Sirius, Hair Nation. Like this song is easily radio friendly. Like to get out there and too bad this was released so long ago. They should be in rotation in Hair Nation in my book. But a fantastic pick.
All right, I gotta say it too. Lizzy Borden.
Never heard of him. Never heard of her.
The first time I heard this album was when year 2000 Napster was at its fucking height. I was fucking Napstering left and right. Sorry, Lars. You can sue me, but I don't have any money to give you. Huh?
You have to pay for the music. Can't steal it. I think it's fucking stock.
I have it on CD now, but like it was tough to get when it came out. Like I don't remember it grabbing it when it first came out. Because I remember looking up, you're looking up all kinds of bands on Napster and shit like that. Like,
it's like, ooh.
And I remember this, and I'm like, I listened to the shit out of this. And then when I finally saw it in the store, I picked it up on CD. Still have the CD, and I actually have. No, this is the one I don't have. This is the one Lizzy Borden I don't have on vinyl. I'm still looking for it.
BC will say his copy for $8,657.50.
All right, I'll trade you my Let Me Go Rock and Roll 45 for it. I tell you, and this is an album that I still, if I'm doing a playlist, I'll throw some songs from this on here. There Will Be Blood Tonight. The song comes in like a fucking freight train. Great rocker. I love the production of this album is fucking fantastic. I love it. It's got and there's a lot of cool layered vocals on this throughout this whole album. The guitars are crisp, and you're right, BC, that the bass sounds fucking amazing on this album. The ripping solos, and actually I have here. Listen to the bass line underneath the solos on this song. Fucking fantastic. And there's kind of a breakdown after the solo that the BB was talking about. Great chorus, kickoff, great kickoff to the album. Hell is for Heroes, cool drum start. You get the dual guitar harmonies, is really good. And there's like some grindage for the verses. I think it's really cool. The background vocals are fantastic. The ripping solo is fantastic in it. Deal with the Devil. It's got like an echo for the riff in the beginning, and it's very cool. Good rocking song. I like the go to heaven, go to hell. Cool part. Sweet solo in it. Great title track. Zanzibar. This is one, as I told you guys, when I do my little stars next to my favorite songs in the albums. This is absolutely fucking love this song. I love the Middle Eastern feel about it that BC talked about. It's just the feel to it is so cool. I love the production on this, and this one has even more layered vocals, which is very cool. It gets real heavy in the middle, then you get that Middle Eastern thing with that fucking crash cymbal. It's fucking fantastic. The solo rips. This is definitely a top 5 Lizzy Borden song for me. I would have lost my fucking mind on the Monster Rock Cruise if they pulled this one out. I would have fucking went insane. Loving You Is Murder, really cool. I kind of agree with BB. Very radio friendly type chorus, sounding chorus, but Loving You Is Murder is probably not going to be played a lot on the fucking radio. The bass is, once again, awesome on this one. Great chorus. We Only Come at Night, another star song for me. This song is fucking awesome. I love the down, 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 down. That bass is just groove up your fucking ass. It just... Love this song. Absolutely love it. Generation Landslide, good version. We talked about that on the other show. I like it. It's a good cover. The World Is Mine, another one that I fucking love. Another one that the bass is just like, man, like fucking fantastic. The chorus is great. I'd love this. This is another one I'd love to see this one live. The shredding solo in is great. State of Pain, good deep track, good solo, solid song. Not a favorite, but not a. There's no skippers on this album for me, by the way. This Ain't the Summer of Love, good version of the song. I went back and listened to the Boys to Call one. I'll take this one. Believe. This is one that I didn't listen to this song a lot for some reason on the album, and I put this on and I'm like, they said I had the headphones on and I'm like, I'm gonna play this one again. I played it like 3 times in a row. It has a very Rush feel to me. That those acoustic parts remind me of something like from 2112 or Farewell to Kings. Something like has a feel like that to it, like early Rush. Then it goes like to a mid-tempo. I really like this one. And man, the solo on this song is fucking fantastic. BC, awesome fucking pick. Alex Nelson, like you said, rest in peace. Absolutely tore it up on this fucking album, and the production is great, and I love the bass in this album. It's just there's a lot of standout shit here that I put on a lot of playlists.
You can go on YouTube and check out some of their live shows from this lineup.
Do they do Zanzibar at all on any of them? You know,
I don't know.
I'm gonna say probably not. For some reason, it seems like a song that they wouldn't do live, because I don't know. Maybe with 2 guitar players, I could pull it out. The one they got the.
It was a 4-piece.
Oh really? Oh, I can. They probably won't play that. Didn't play that one live, but
every time I hear Zanzibar, I think of in one of the Metal Gear games. They talk about Zanzibar. Like there's a mission in Zanzibar land.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
cool.
I always every time I hear that, I think of Solid Snake going in Zanzibar.
All right.
Just an aside there.
Cool. All right, so we're going chronologically. That was the year 2000, so we're going to skip to 2009, and
Yes.
Go ahead, Dylan.
Okay, so a little preface before we get to the actual album. The album that I'm doing is Alice in Chains' Black Gives Way to Blue, but a little lead up into the album. The band released their album before it, Alice in Chains, self-titled, in 1995, so there's a huge gap between their album right before it and the album that eventually reunited the band, partially because of what happened with Lane Staley. They didn't tour to support the Alice in Chains album, but they did do MTV Unplugged in April of 1996, and then they did a little touring with Kiss for the Alive Worldwide tour. But then that was kind of Lane Staley's last show. Lane Staley was eventually found dead 2002. The band kind of reunited 2006 to play some shows with the VH1's Decades Rock Live, and they had different people play, but then they also had William Duvall come in and fill in as well. But they started writing songs and stuff throughout the whole thing, but they didn't really get into the studio until 2008, late October of it. And then they started recording at Studio 606, which is the Foo Fighters studio, Dave Grohl's personal studio. But they had, I can never pronounce this guy's name, Raskolnitz, who was producing it along with the band. But an interesting thing about this album, at 54 minutes 12 seconds, came out September 9, 2009, is William Duvall doesn't really do the lead vocals on this album. Majority of the songs done by Jerry Cantrell. He does the lead vocals. William Duvall does the background vocals. There's only one song on the album that William Duvall does the lead vocals for, and that song is Last of My Kind, which is a pretty cool song. You can definitely tell his vocals compared to Jerry's, because Jerry Cantrell sounds very similar to Lane Staley in his vocals. So at times when Check My Brain came out, for instance, I was almost tricked into thinking this must have been a track that Lane recorded before he died, because the harmonies are so similar to the harmonies that Jerry and Lane used to do. But it's just a testament to how good William Duvall is at harmonizing with Jerry Cantrell. But let's get into the album after I say the personnel on this album. So Jerry Cantrell, lead and backing vocals, the lead guitar. William Duvall does backing vocals, rhythm guitar, and then lead vocals, like I said, on Last of My Kind. Mike Inez, Friends Don't Let Friends Get Friends Haircuts himself, does bass and backing vocals. Then you had Sean Kinney on drums and percussion. And this is where Elton John comes in, Dad. He played piano on the title track, Black Gives Way to Blue. Lisa Coleman played vibraphone on that track as well. And then there was Chris Armstrong did tabla on When the Sun Rose Again, nice little acoustic song. And C.V. Black did string arrangement, performance, and engineering on Your Decision in Private Hell. So this is a comeback album because the band had basically been done. They were down for the count, kind of doing their own solo stuff. Jerry especially was doing his solo project, and it was tough getting back together because they lost a valued band member, but they decided to get back on the horse and put out this album. First track, All Secrets Known, very moody track, very much going back to the Dirt era of Alice in Chains, whereas like the title track, the self-titled album was very experimentalish. It was off the beaten path for them a bit, and this is kind of showing that they're going back to basics a little bit. Check My Brain, that riff is just so fucking good. It's so simple but so effective, and the harmonies throughout the song are great. Last of My Kind, I really do like William Duvall's vocals. Very different, very, very cool song. Your Decision, I remember this song as well being a single, and it's a really good low-key song, and you can tell that a lot of these songs have to deal with the death of Lane, and subject-wise, they're really going through that. Looking Into View is fantastic, a little longer, but it's got some heavy parts in it that I really like. When the Sun Rose Again, that's a nice little acoustic one. Acid Bubble, there's some really cool time change kind of thing. They switch up the song in the middle in this like really heavy, like holy shit stopper part that I really enjoy. Lesson Learned is a fantastic song. Take Her Out is kind of a little more get up and go for the band. And then Private Hell I really enjoy. And Black Gives Way to Blue, I always say that an album should either end with bombast or it should end on a reflection. This is definitely a reflective song. I mean, you have Elton John on piano, so it's going to be a heartfelt kind of emotional song for the band. But I think this is a pretty solid return to form for the band, especially having lost the lead singer and coming into the studio with a new person. I mean, Jerry did the lead vocals, so they were kind of used to that because he was doing more lead vocals as the band went on. But it's tough to go into the studio without a key member. And I think that they did really well under the circumstances. They got nominated for a couple of awards. As we know from one of the Grammy episodes, we got to listen to Check My Brain. They did not win that Grammy, unfortunately, but they still got the nod, which is really good. And I'm interested to hear what you guys think of the album. Dad, what do you think?
Okay, I remember when Check My Brain came out, I was like, "Ooh, this is cool," and we did talk about that song on the thing. As you guys know, I'm not a huge Alice in Chains fan. I'm the guy that likes the shit that was in the videos, like the hits guy for these guys. I'm not a good deep track guy for these guys at all. All Secrets Known, like very ominous kind of start that you'd kind of expect from these guys. It absolutely, right off the beginning, you have that Alice in Chains sound and feel, like that hauntingness to it, to some of them, like you get with like the Rooster songs like that. Not a bad start. Short solo, you get the what I like to call the Alice in Chains moan.
Yep.
It's right up front on this song. Check My Brain, great riff, love it. Some cool lead fills along the way. I like the vibe of the song, and this has been on a lot of my playlists throughout the years as well. Like I put this right up there with songs like the Rooster and like the songs that I like for these guys. Last of My Kind, heavy driving riff starts off. I do like the vocals. It's got some Alice in Chains grindage here as well. Real heavy song. Your Decision, acoustic start, mellow, kicks in for a minute. Pretty good groove. Way better than most of the shit on Jar of Flies, that's for fucking sure. I love the dual vocals. The great melodic solo is great. Cool guitar tone. I really like this song. Looking in a View. More heavy, typical Alice in Chains that you expect. When the Sun Roses Again, more dual vocals. I'm getting a little bored at this point in this album. Not a huge fan of this song. I think it kind of blows. Acid Bubble. After the last song, this one, I'm like, please make it fucking stop. But it kicks up a little bit at the end, but just not enough to save the song for me. Lesson Learned, asked something more up tempo. I like it. The solo part's really cool. It's a pretty melodic song for these guys, I thought. Take Her Out, another dirge. I'm like, ugh. But it grew on me. This is a song that grew on me, and not a skipper. It's got some cool melodies in it. Private Hell, like this is like I can picture like smoking pot to this one. It's got like a dreamy feel to it in the verses. And I don't smoke pot, so I'm not really a fan of the fucking song. Black Gibbons Way to Blue, mellow piano song, and at that point I'm like, please let this fucking album be over, because I'm not a huge fan of like mellow songs ending albums for the most part. Some are okay, but on this one I was hoping for a little more like boom instead of a
Well, I think part of there was a lot that they had to address with this album. They had to address the death of Lane. They had to like showcase that they're still themselves. So like they're processing a shit ton, and you could tell.
Oh, absolutely. And they had to stick with that sound. This is a band that could not have changed their sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You put this on, you could hear any song on this album. Oh, that's Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
And I think they needed that. I really do. And I don't hate it, but there's a couple skippers in there for me. But it's for them coming back and going through all that shit, not bad.
Yeah. I really find it interesting because they were such a band that defined the sound of the 90s, and to completely jump almost 2 decades from their last album, they've like 14 years of a gap. It's just, it's a miracle that it was as good as it was, I would say, because it could have sounded super dated. It could have been just like, oh, this is just 90s, all over again. But I feel like they updated it well. It translated well to the 2000s. What do you think, BB? I'm sure that you like it better than Dan. At least I hope you do.
Oh, easily.
Shocking.
Big fan of this album. I was waiting for this to be released because I was very curious of what they were going to do, what they're going to sound like. This was like the modern day like Back in Black, because you had your death of your singer and who's going to replace them, what are they going to sound like. It was just so many whats and ifs, and this album is very dark. It's very sad at times. It's emotional. It's eerie. There's so many crazy different emotions going on in this whole album. I'll kind of go backwards from my list, and I honestly think it's a great way to end the album, because I feel like there's like a little homage, and not little homage going on to Lane with that song, Black Gives Way to Blue. It just, the piano is it's emotional. It grabs you because the story, and you're like, it kind of like has like that emotional feel to it for me. Another one I really, really love was Your Decision, because it brings me back to the acoustic days, back when they did the MTV. They were huge back when they did that. I love when Alice slows it down, because a lot of their stuff isn't heavy. It's very bassy. It's not like, E chord jamming down your throat. It's different. It's about the music. It's not about the shredding. It's not about, sounding like certain other bands. They have their own unique sound, and I love when they turn it down and go acoustic like that. Another one I really, really enjoyed was Last of My Kind. When William Duvall kind of takes over. When I was listening to this album a while ago, when you read the notes and you're like, oh, here's your new singer, and you're hoping that he kind of comes out a little bit more, a couple more songs.
Yeah.
But like you already said, this is the only song he does. But I love this song, especially in the beginning. It almost has like a guitar, like Jurassic Park feel in the beginning. All these goofy sounds in the beginning, like that Jerry can just make crazy sounds with his guitar. And probably my favorite song on this one is Check My Brain. I love how that guitar tone, it's almost like spooky at times. It's different, it's eerie, it's sad, it's dark, it's a perfect tone for what this album is supposed to mean and what this album carries. And like I said, I absolutely love this album. This is another fantastic pick in my book.
Nice. BC, bring it home.
Anybody knows me, I'm a fan of Alice in Chains since day one. I mean, that was the grunge movement. They got live with us.
Yep.
And a lot of people were like, but that first album, and I like acoustic, slower stuff too. So I was always look at my CD collection. There just got me.
There's a section.
There's 15 inches of just Alice in Chains CDs. Mm-hmm. So of course he died, and then of course I did follow the band hardcore, but then when you heard they were going to come out and they got another guy in the band, you're like, and there's always that. What's it going to sound like? Oh, God, is it going to, should they just leave it, go out where they were or not? And then when I first heard Check My Brain, I mean, I was like, that riff, as simple as it is.
Put you right back there with them.
I was like, damn. It did. And then I picked this up when it first came out, and I was like, and they put it in, and like you said, they have the same sound, because it'd be weird hearing like totally different sound Alice in Chains. It would not work. But one of my favorites is Check My Brain. Your Decision, of course. Lessons Learned, Take Her Out, and Private Hell are all great. And I like the way it closes out. And like you said, either you blow it up, and in this situation, situation, I guess you would say. I mean, hey, like I said, here's a band that you lost your guy that you've been with since before you even made it big. So I can see a lot of this. And overall, the whole Field album, but like I said, I've been on the Alice in Chain bus for a while.
Alice in Chain Gang.
Alice in Chain Gang. But I was not disappointed in this album. Very, very, good pick overall.
Thank you.
And like you said, 14 years is a long time.
Yeah. It was a huge gap.
All right. There's BC's and Dylan's album. We had Deal with the Devil from Lizzy Borden, year 2000 for BC. Dylan's album, Black Gives Way to Blue from Alice in Chains. And we'll do our gem song. So this week, and BC and I were texting back and forth about this one. The End Machine are putting out a new album. It's coming out in, I think, April. And it's the End Machine Phase 2. We talked about the first album, that it was not what we thought it was going to be. Like, it just fell short of our expectations. It was good, but it fell short.
I think because the hype was too much.
I think so too.
That up.
They did. It was going to be the End Machine of all fucking albums.
And this album,
and it fell short.
To me, you never heard nothing about it. All of a sudden,
it's there, boom. And I think maybe they learned that lesson.
I think so.
And the album's called Phase 2, and they released a song already. It's called Blood and Money. And it's Robert Mason, George Lynch, Jeff Pilson, and Steve Brown, who is Mick Brown's brother, on drums. So
don't call me your brother.
Cool band. So that album is coming out, I think, in April. So look for it. And actually, I texted BC or put on someone's Facebook page, this song is better than the whole first album. So, and they usually release, not the best track. So I'm cautiously optimistic for this new album, okay? Especially after the last one.
When they released it, I hit play, I was like,
and then
wow.
And it's even better when you're expecting it to suck.
Yeah, I was like,
you know what I mean? I mean, not suck, but be not as good as you think it could be.
It certainly does suck.
Yeah.
I just think they hyped their first one too much.
I think you are absolutely correct
on that. You were
on
expecting this, and it was here.
Like,
no matter what, it was going to be lower than this, and this one needed. I didn't know they were working on an album. So it was like boom.
And here's a song for you. Yeah. Here's a song for you.
And it's very good.
All right, so here it is. Dylan's going to play it right now. Blood and Money from the End Machine.
Take it from you, me more.
All right, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed Blood Money from the End Machine. The album's called Phase 2 and it's coming out soon. I think April, but maybe before that. I don't think it's any later than that, though. So time for our hidden gem here. I'm going to go first. This album I discovered like right at the end of last year, and I talked about the John Hahn album that he had out, a local guy that he was one of our Harpo guys, like way back, and he put out an instrumental album which is just a shred fest. And I actually found another one that was really, really strong, great, like metal, like fucking shredding, excellent album. And the guy's name is Chris Elliott, and the album is called Once Above the Madness. Very cool album, great instrumental album. Songs like Possessed by Monsters, Holy Warrior, Attila the Hun, which is H-O-N. I don't know if that's a fucking typo or not. But it's a really, really good album. It's a short one, though, too. It's a good, quick listen, but there's a ton of fucking shredding on it. It's only like 34 minutes long, and there's 11 songs on it. So it's a good, quick listen. If you want just like a quick boom, punch in the face and some shredding, definitely check that out. It is Chris Elliott, Once Above the Madness. And we will go to Dylan.
Okay, so I'm going to throw BC a bone on this one. We've already talked about it on the podcast, and we've probably done it for a hidden gem. But I wanted to spotlight it since we're talking about Lizzy Borden. They released a cover last year of Pet Sematary by the Ramones. It's really great. I love the chorus sounds fantastic. I do like it better than the Ramones version, which might be shocking coming from me. But it's a really great version of the song. It's so catchy, and it's a really, really fun time.
They did that on the Monsters of Rock cruise. I'm like, what the fuck song is this? And I'm thinking, I'm like, and you can tell in the chorus that that's the name of the song, and I'm like, I do not remember this being on a fucking Lizzy Borden album, but I never heard it before. I mean, I'm not a Ramones guy. I think they kind of suck.
They
but
did when Halloween out in the whiskey.
Oh, did they really?
They came out like.
It was good. That was cool.
I
like it. So
and I didn't recognize that at first. I'm like, what the? And then I looked into it, and then they did it, of course, on
the cruise, which was cool. Good pick, Dylan.
Thank you.
All right, BB, what do you got?
All right, going back to 2019 with a band called Dirty Honey, with the song "When I Am Gone."
Where you going?
I'm going somewhere. I'm out of here.
Okay.
But
going back to fucking rehab.
Yeah. I fell upon these guys one day. I was flying through YouTube. I think I had like you were doing the one day. I think you were listening to Pretty Maids on YouTube the one day. Mm-hmm. I think I just threw Lynch Mob in, and it ran for a couple hours on the TV at the house, going around doing shit. And these guys popped up. I'm like, what the hell are these guys? But the more I kind of looked into this song, it actually topped the Billboard mainstream rock song charts in March of 2019, making them the first unsigned band ever to top the chart. So, and they released an EP. I think there's like 6 songs on it. But this song, When I Am Gone, it's almost like a Lynch Mob meets like a heavy Black Crowes. It's really, really different. Really, really good sound. Check it out.
All right. BC.
Okay. So when I'm home now, I throw on, what's that, the Amazon Echo? Is that what it's called? Whatever it's called.
Alexa.
So when I'm doing stuff around the house, I guess.
When BC I'm sorry, let me just interfere quick. BC gets home, he goes, Alexa, yeah, I'm going to play Lizzy Borden.
Don't worry, I'll play Lizzy.
They don't play Lizzy Borden. I asked her many times. I've been lately, I used to just play 80s hard rock, and they play, the typical shit. And like, about 2 weeks ago, I'm like, played a hard rock band, Rat. And she goes, here's a station,
you might like.
You might like. Of course, there's plenty of Rat songs, but overall, it's good songs. And I'm like, ooh. And then the one song came up, and I'm like, it's Rat. You can tell it's Rat. I'm like, and I don't think this album gets Infestation. Does not get enough credit. I mean, of course, it came out 2010, and I can get on my soapbox for a while, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna try to let it go. A lot of people nowadays is the hits. They don't even know these bands have new music.
They don't want to know it.
They don't want to know.
Round and round.
To me, there 2 songs come up in the shuffle play of this Rack channel off this Infestation album, and I just had to throw it on the one day. I'm like,
It's fucking fantastic.
It is. Yeah.
Try and get it on vinyl. It's a couple $100.
But Rat Infestation, I can just go say the whole album because
It is a great album. And
I can't say it's a forgotten album. It's an unknown album.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's Warren DiMartino and Carlos Cavazo on
How can you go
lead
wrong
guitar. And I want to say I think Robbie Crane is still on bass on that album because I don't
believe
think
so.
Juan was back with them yet.
No.
But kick-ass album. Good job. All right, and so there's our hidden gems. I have Chris Elliott, Once Above the Madness. BB's got Dirty Honey, the song When I Am Gone. Dylan's got Pet Sematary from the mighty Lizzy Borden. And BC's got the kick-ass, forgotten or unknown Rat album, Infestation, which is great. And it's on Apple Music, and it's on all the streaming things. So if you like Rat, check it out. This album absolutely fucking rocks. It's great. And we'll jump back into the comeback albums, and we're going chronologically. So we did 2009 for Dylan for Alice in Chains. So we're just skipping 1 year ahead, 2010. The band is Accept, and the album is Blood of the Nations. Came out August 20th, 2010, and it is produced, mixed, and mastered by Andy Sneap. Yes, I've been waiting so long to talk about this fucking album. When they were in pre-production for this album, he made the band go back and he said, I want you to go back and listen to your classic albums just to get a feel of what Accept needs to be. Got a new singer, Mark Taranello. He was the singer from TT Quick, is actually a union electrician in New Jersey. And so the lineup for the band is Mark Taranello on vocals, Wolf Hoffman on lead and rhythm guitars, Herman Frank, rhythm guitar, lead guitar on Rolling Thunder, Peter Baltus, bass player, and Stefan Schwartzman on drums. And Mark Taranello is another guy that just came out of the blue. I mean, we knew him from TT Quick, but that album was like in '84 or something like that, like way the fuck back. And when I heard they were getting, back going and stuff like that, there was stuff on Blabbermouth and everything, and I'm like, oh my Accept. I'm like, that's gonna be cool when that comes out. And I remember when I picked it up on CD, I was like, holy fuck. I'm like, this is the Accept that I love, that I want, that I need to fucking hear and have. And the album that they had before that was called Predator, with their last album with Udo, 1996. So you got a big gap again between albums for these bands. And Wolf Hoffman, they played some festivals and stuff in the years in between, and but nothing, no albums, no nothing. And then they got back together, they did this album. I was absolutely fucking blown away by this album when it came out. It's 67 minutes and 30 seconds. It was recorded at the Backstage Studio in England. Right from the get-go here, this album just like fucking bashes you in the head. Right off the bat, it's Accept. As soon as you hear the first notes of this album, you're like, boom, that's Accept. You could throw it on. Anyone that is familiar with them, they'll be like, that's Accept. Mark's vocals fit in perfectly with the band. Talk about reinvigorating a band. Accept is back, baby. It has the patented Accept backing vocals, loud and fast, aggressive start to the album. The song is Beat the Bastards.
No. It's,
Oh, okay. I thought you.
no, that
I
was-
thought you were saying that I didn't say.
No, you're
okay. And that guitar tone, that Wolf Hoffman guitar tone, is fucking. Oh my God, it's so good. The solo cranks in it. There's and it's got a lot of melodic dual guitar parts in there. Great start to the album. Then the next song is Teutonic Terror. They put out a video for this song before the album came out. And I remember I'm like, hey, PC, you gotta fucking check this out. And it's it's kind of a typical kind of low budget thing. They're in this junkyard with all shit burned around. Kind of reminds you of like the things on the Twisted Sister video, with the cars burning and shit like that on that video thing where Dee Snider's talking to the kid. Did you shit yourself? But this song, Teutonic Terror, is Accept at their best. And it was a perfect song, I think, for them to put out there for people to go, oh my God, if the rest of the album sounds like this, it's going to be fucking kick-ass. Song kicks major ass. I love the we will give them the axe. Oh my God, talk about fucking grindage. You get the hey, hey, heys in there. It's fucking awesome. When I heard this, I'm like, this is one of the best metal songs that I've heard released in a long fucking time. This one instantly caught my ear. Wolf just tears it up on the solo. He's got a wah-wah pedal thing going on for the solo, which is fucking great. And then you get, I talked about the Alice in Chains moan. You have the fucking Accept moan on this. Ooh, like takes you right back to Balls to the Wall type feel to that part of the song. Next song, The Abyss. This song is another one, just like heavy riff to start off with. And it knocks back a little bit for the verse. The vocals are a little more understated, but then the song builds as it goes. It's a great apocalyptic song. The amazing background vocals. Mark really goes for it on some of his screams on this one. I like the one part. The song kind of backs off a little bit, and you got this like looking back to slower times and all this shit. And then when he gets in that scream, that I don't think so, fuck it, I'm like, oh my god, and it goes right into the solo. You're like, wow, killer. More wah pedal for Wolf Hoffman. Total shred fest on this song. Fades out with some grindage and some more lead work is great. Next one is a tempo title track, Blood of the Nations. Up tempo riff. It starts off. The bass sounds fantastic on this one. Got more hey heys in this one. The tempo kicks up for the pre-chorus. More gang vocals from the boys. Good song, but it's one of the maybe little lesser songs in the album for me. Both guitarists are throwing down some solos here. I don't know. They say that Herman Frank only plays a solo on Rolling Thunder, so they must have just did a different guitar tone because it sounds like a back and forth solo kind of in this song. Shades of Death. It's got that sinister sound to it. It's got some strings and stuff for the move in the beginning. It builds up, which is really good. It's got a heavy vibe in it. The strings there's like strings part in this song that make it sound so fucking cool. It's got the patented background vocals again. The solos are great. There's some melodic shit, some ripping stuff going on there. Locked and Loaded, fast rocking song. I love when Accept goes like balls out. Song like this one just fucking rips. The dual guitars for a short solo. Later in there's some shredding for the solo. The tempo changes, and you get another kick up in the tempo. In this next song, Time Machine, it has on there that it's a bonus track, but it's track 7, and it was on the original release that I got. So I'm not sure how a bonus track is like the 7th song. I'm not really sure how that starts out, how that works out like that. But it's got a mellow start. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. It's got such a cool vibe to it. It's one of them, what BB calls a roller coaster song. You get that build to it, and it goes up and comes back down. It's got a melodic solo. It's got the whoa-whoas back in there, the Accept moan. I like how he screams the vocals right after the solo. It is friggin' fantastic. And I like how when the song fades out, he like whispers, like a time machine. It fits so cool when that fades out. Just a great, I want to say just a great production thing that they threw in there, and he just kind of like mellows it out right at the end of the song. It's very cool. Kill the Pain, acoustic start to it, melodically guitar, bass, and drums. Little mellow vocals for Mark here, very melodic solo in it, some shredding. Another verse, killer solo. Rolling Thunder, this is the one that Herman Frank plays lead guitar on. Back to the fast rocking songs, it's got choppy guitars in it, some grindage for the verses. The soloing is just amazing. Herman Frank kicks ass, and check out his solo stuff too, because he has some friggin' phenomenal shit out there in the last couple years. I think 2019 was his last album, and I think it was one of my top picks of that year, so you should definitely check his stuff out too. And the solos are double. The production on that song is really cool. They really, Andy Sneap really did some fucking magic with these guys. Just absolutely, just brought the acceptness to this album. And the next song, 10th song, Pandemic. What better song to have in this time of the fucking world than Pandemic? This album, but there's the momentum that this album has built up is just fucking amazing. Melodic lead intro, got like Wolf Hoffman just fucking like, you don't hear this guy in kick-ass guitar player conversations. You should. This guy fucking absolutely kicks ass. It's got a cool build at the back end of the solo into the chorus. Great lead fills throughout, then some melodic guitars as it fades out. New World Coming. It's got a murky start, a little grinding mid-tempo rocker. Good pace to it, some more whoa-whoas. This one has a Princess of the Dawn feel. Princess. It's got that feel to it, and that's on the Restless and Wild album, by the way. Excellent solo, more harmonics at the end. No Shelter. This is a song that if you have the live album they put out from one of the festivals, came out a couple of years ago, this is the song that they extend where Wolf Hoffman and Peter Baltus go out on the stage that juts out into the ego stage or whatever they call it, out into the crowd, and they do a dual back and forth lead guitar and bass part that is fucking absolutely phenomenal. This song is another standout one for me on this album. And you get a little bit of that in the thing. The No Shelter is friggin' fantastic. Like I said, and it's a live staple for them too. They've been kicking ass with this one. The album wraps up with Bucket Full of Hate. It's got a little plinky keyboard start on this one, which is a little weird for these guys. Heavy riff, but it's a great rocking song to end the album. Tons of great lead fills. Great wrap up for this amazing comeback album, and you get the Accept moan as the album kind of fades out. Fucking absolutely fucking love it. And BB,
yes,
what do you got for me?
A very good pick. This is the only album that I really have not listened to front to back before. I know you've been on this album for years. I had like couple songs that I knew, but I never like I said, never really listened to it front to back. A couple of these songs that I really, really enjoy. Kill the Pain. I love like the softer side of it, of Accept It. The little emotion. There's like some squealing guitars in there are really, really cool. Locked and Loaded was another really heavy riffing song. A lot of chugging riffs in that. The solo in it's crazy. And my roller coaster song was The Abyss. I thought it started out really, really heavy, and then I actually love when they kind of slowed it down, like right in the middle for like one verse, and then they picked it back up. But easily the best song on the album is the, how do you say that? Trevenonic Terror?
Teutonic Terror.
Teutonic Terror. Yeah, easily the best song on the album. That is easily old school, except heavy riffs, heavy guitar. The drums sound amazing. The Except that I like. So very, very heavy pick. It's funny how it's like a whole different genre of all three albums so far.
Yeah, true.
Very good.
All right. BC, go ahead. I was thinking something else.
Oh God, I going back to 2010. I remember Steve saying, "You gotta check this album out." Because you were following him for a while. I mean, I knew of him back in the day, and I like how you say the "ooh." And that fits in all their albums. But I remember you saying this, and I remember you playing. I was like, damn, this is like where Accept should be. And I mean, with the addition of Mark, I mean, I don't think you can find a better guy to take Uno's place.
He sings the Udo stuff fucking great too.
Exactly, and he same neighborhood vocal wise, I think, a little more graspy,
a little better,
a different kind of graspy is what I'm looking for. But the Teutonic Terror,
Yep.
love that song. The Blood of Nations, pandemic. How can you go around that? Little did I know 10 years later we'll be in a pandemic. Ain't that kind of weird? Like, well, you guys knew something we didn't know. But overall, just the heaviness. I mean, and this put this in the same book as, to me, Judas Priest. They keep getting.
Their newer stuff's getting better and better.
You say with the help of Andy, what?
Andy Sneap, baby.
Saxon. I mean, just these bands are
Exodus.
They're getting older and they're still putting out cranking shit. And this was 2010, and they just came out with that album this year, right? Yeah.
This year, yeah. It came out in January.
And I guess it's one of these bands that you see no end in sight. Great pick.
Yeah, this album kicks ass. They haven't put out a bad album with Andy Sneap and Mark Tornello since this album. It's just been great album after great album. The production is immaculate. Mark's voice is just perfect for the band. I mean, I could. What can I add that people haven't already added? The thing that gets me with Teutonic Terror is when the bass comes in. Like it's just every time I have to do air bass to it because it's such a fucking epic. And the background vocals on this album are just on point. I love the especially for a pandemic with the, it's a pandemic, a mental disease, pandemic, and it's just they added in there like at a moment you wouldn't expect, and it works so well for the song, like the just drivingness of that song. It's just such a heavy album. It's so good. I could go to this album, like Time Machine's a great song. I can go to this album and this era of Accept and just rock out throughout, because there's so much good even on the albums after it. Twist of Fate on the next album, Too Late. It's they can't do wrong with. They had that one cheesy song on Rise of Chaos, but that was just lyrically. Music wise, it was still fantastic.
Oh, the internet song.
Yeah, the internet song. But they're on a fucking roll ever since 2010. Like they've been on a decade roll in my book, and they haven't stumbled yet.
And they've been consistently releasing stuff too, which is fantastic.
Like every other year, they've had some stuff out. They've had a couple live albums out. They had that one orchestral live album, kind of like S&M. So they've been doing really well, especially for a band that people may have at one point considered a one-hit wonder, but they're consistently just putting out the material. And Andy Sneap, you sing his praises for good reason, because this production is fucking crisp.
And YouTube, they're one of my junkies on YouTube, Pretty Maids, Accept, and of course Bonfire. But I watched, I think it was Whackin', I don't know what year, where they do it with the orchestra.
Oh, with the symphony, yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
2007.
I was like, damn.
It really accents the stuff.
mean,
that was like, because some of them are kind of like, eh.
No, this is.
But it stands out.
They come out playing Accept, and then they do this part, and I was like, damn.
Yeah,
it was real good.
And there's 3 Americans in the band now. Phil Schaus, that we've had interviewed on the show with the Rock and Roll Residency with Ryan Cook and Jeremy Asbrock, and Christopher Williams, who BC and I met at the first Rockin' Pod, is their drummer, and Mark Terranello. So they're a 6-piece now. So it's half European dudes and half Americans.
It was 2017, Symphonic Terror live at Whackin'.
Yeah, that was
2017.
I watched it the one night. I was like, damn.
Good. I mean, fantastic stuff. Like you said, I think
that and
they're kick ass.
Yeah,
they became the band that you always hoped that they would be. Like this is it.
Yeah.
This is how you get another singer.
Yep.
But then not to get off the TSO Sabotage did Whackin', where they did together like Sabotage and TSO stuff.
Yeah.
Where they did both stages. I mean, that was crazy too.
I haven't checked that out yet. I'll have to check that out.
Check it out.
Absolutely.
I'm a YouTube junkie. So.
Yeah, right.
All right, BB, you're bringing up the rear here with the oldest band that we're talking about tonight.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I think so. Are they older than Accept?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I'll look it up, but continue.
Okay. I am going to talk about the only album we have not talked about on the podcast. So pretty much to finish out the catalog of Van Halen, we'll talk about The Different Kind of Truth. This is their 12th and hopefully their last studio album. It was released February 7th of 2012 on Interscope Records. It was the first full-length album from their old lead singer, David Lee Roth, since 1984. So, BC, I heard you missed us. We're back, But this is their only album that did not have Michael Anthony on it.
My child.
He's got to play bass.
So, of course, Eddie brings in his son Wolfgang. I think he's 16 at the time when they record this. Crazy, crazy album. It was recorded at the Hanson Recording Studios and also Eddie's own 5150 studio, produced by John Shanks. 7 of the 13 songs on this musical album were reworked and rewritten songs that have been demoed from the late 70s. So they had a lot of this music already in the bank. They just kind of had to bring it out. And here's a little background of how they kind of got this album kind of going. So in 2007, David Lee Roth comes back to the band. They go out and they do this North American tour, which was
One of the
on one of the Jeopardy questions. So yeah, I'm sorry. Wolfie is 16 at the time when they go out on this tour. The reunion tour consisted of 74 shows from September 2007 to June 2008. It became the biggest grossing tour in its 33-year history, earning $93 million. Right after that, Eddie, Wolfie, and Alex go into the studio and just start jamming right after this big tour that they do it. So during that time, Wolfgang discovered rough, unreleased demos from the band's archives. After listening to these and believed they could be potential, he brought them to Eddie and Alex to rework and redefine these songs. The first 3 tracks that they actually worked on was She's the Woman, Let's Get Rocking, and Outer Space. So originally, their intent was Wolfgang wanted just to bring out some old songs, pretty much B-sides of Van Halen songs that were never released. And after working on these songs, David Lee Roth actually heard some of these redone songs because originally he didn't want to be in it, but after hearing these songs, he says, you know what? These songs sound so good from 41 years ago, I want back in. They ended up recording 35 demos for this album. So I cannot wait 10 years down the road when Wolfgang decides, I'm going to have a nice, big, humongous box set in memory of my father. Here's
Here's the rest of the shit we did.
35 songs that we worked on for the Different Kind of Truth album. So I thought that was really, really cool. I wanted to bring that up because that archive of the 5150 studio have to be fucking millions and millions and millions of songs. But the album starts off with the song Tattoo, probably the most famous song of the album. Not the greatest opener. I think producer John Shanks sprinkled his little pop production on this song. The riff throughout the song is from an unreleased song called Down in Flames. The song is very catchy, referencing different kind of tattoos and colors. A little spoken word in there from Dave. And the solo is very old school Van Halen. Song number 2, She's the Woman. It's a cool bass guitar intro from Wolfie and Eddie. Has your attention right from the start. It's totally a different song that Van Halen has here. The song was actually recorded in 1976 by Gene Simmons for his Gene Simmons demo tapes. Dave rewrote some of the lyrics, and it has like a Mean Street riff sound throughout the song. Solo in its kick-ass. It's just a classic rock and roll song under 3 minutes, BC. That's what we want. Kick-ass music under 3 minutes.
Right to the point.
Yeah. Song number 3, You and Your Blues. I know I like to bust you guys about the David Lee Roth vocals and their performance, but let me tell you, this song is the best vocal performance Dave has ever put out in his years of Van Halen. It's the levels of his voice and the runs of this song is just amazing. Even the background vocals from Wolfgang, just spot on. It's almost a solid song, even without Michael Anthony throwing that background vocals in it. Song number 4, Chinatown, another classic song at 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Right out of the gate, blows you away with Eddie's crazy fast finger tapping intro. Dave's delivering his vocals just as fast as Eddie is playing. The solo is pretty much the Sick Bananas solo of the night on that song. Love that song. Song number 5, Blood and Fire. Very Diver Downish. The music is an old instrumental song called Ripley's, and it was made for the Wild and Life film. It has the same lines that Dave used pretty much a lot of like this live stuff, and it says, "Look at all the pretty people here tonight," and different lines he used to use back in the day. Very 1984 feel to that song. Easily the solo is is a 1984 riff. Song number 6, Bullet Head. The shortest song on the album at 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Crazy fast song this is. Originally called Bang Bang. They played this in their club days back in 1977. And one of the lines in the chorus for this song is a different kind of true. So that's probably where they got the title of the album, A Different Kind of Truth. So they probably pulled it from that song. And then from the shortest song to the shortest titled song, song number 7, As Is. Alex gets to showcase his drumming in this one. This fucking bombastic skin beating he does on this song. The guitar riff is from a song called Two Burritos and a Root Beer Float, which Eddie played on 2.5 Men. Him and Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen was trying to get into a bathroom, and he pulling on the door, and all of a sudden Eddie walks out with his guitar, and Charlie Sheen goes, "Do you always go to the bathroom with your guitar?" And he goes, "This is where I get my most inspiration from." So he plays a solo for this song, and he goes, "That's called Two Burritos and a Root Beer Float." So that solo is in the song. So that was kind of cool with that. And more spoken word from Dave, which it seems like it's starting to be like a spoken word type of album, but it really, really fits the song. Song number 8, Honey Baby Sweetie Doll. This tune is just insane. The string scratching, the alien guitar sounds that Eddie's making on this song is really, really crazy. It's probably one of the unique songs on the album. Song number 9, The Trouble with Never. This wah-wah pedal funky opening riff is just so crazy, and the powerful drum fills that Alex does, just a really, really, really good opener. Dave goes from singing to the spoken word. They even sound like somewhat like the guy from Saw. There's like a verse in there, "Would you like to play a game?" Like it's a crazy when you think of it. And when you have to go back and check it out, because now that I brought that to your attention, it's really, really cool. He easily sounds like the guy from Saw. Song number 10, one of my favorite songs in the album, Out of Space. Another song from the Gene Simmons demo days. It used to be called Let's Get Rockin'. Dave changes the lyrics up a little bit. Pretty much the same music. Another short song coming in at 2 minutes 53 seconds. The solo definitely sounds like it's old school Van Halen. Just one of those short, kick-ass Van Halen songs. Love that one. Song number 11, another kick-ass song, Stay Frosty. It's like the 2012 version of Ice Cream Man. Dave vocals are fast. It starts acoustic. It kicks in with the electric. The outro solo is crazy on this song. Another great song on this album. Song number 12, Big River. Another song from Gene's demo. So like we had this background. This is, Wolfie's getting all these songs out from back in the day. It used to be called Big Trouble, but telling from the title, Dave changes the lyrics once again to this song. The music is the same. Now it's just starting to hit me. Like, you think of all these songs that were released from this demo tape, from the Zeros or the Gene Simmons demos, 1976, 1977. 41 years later, this music is still fucking blowing minds and kicking ass. Like 41 years later. That's why I absolutely love this album. And to close out the album, song number 13, Beats Workin'. And once again, it had a different name back in the day. It used to be called Putting Out the Lights. Great Grang vocals on this song. But it surprises me that this song and Tattoo are pretty much the two weakest songs on the album. But they're the opener and the closer. So I'm very curious, as I'm long-winded and need a drink. BC, what do you think?
BB, I love you. Oh, come on. It's David Lee Roth. How the fuck can you go wrong with David Lee Roth? We waited how many years for this album? 28? Am I doing around math? Help me out. 28, right?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 28. 84 to 2012.
28 years.
What are you talking about? Van Halen 3 came out in 1998.
Not that we're talking David Lee Roth, people.
Well, you got that little sprinkle of those 2 songs off the.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it the Volume 1 greatest hits thing?
Yeah,
Me Wise Magic and can't get this stuff no more.
Yeah.
Well, there was also the ones from.
That was from Sammy.
Wasn't there?
The best
No.
of both worlds. There were like
No.
3 that Sammy did. Up for
Okay.
Breakfast.
It's About Time. And
It's
Learning to
About
Sing.
Time. And
Throw
some
up for
else.
breakfast.
Okay. I thought Dave would contribute to something. Just go ahead, BC. I'm sorry.
Anyways, here's the first full album with David back on vocals 20 years later. I mean, you didn't know what to expect. I mean, you're excited to death. And, there was all kinds of emotion. I remember when this first coming out. And the first single, was it Tattoo?
Yep.
And that came out. I don't know. I like it. Is it Is it the greatest song ever? No. It's catchy. The guitar is catchy. I mean, it's just overall catchy. She's the Woman. How can you not go wrong with that? You and Your Blues. That screams what? David Lee Roth.
Yes.
Chinatown. Great one. Trouble with Never. I like that one. Stay Frosty to me is a throwback to the
Ice
Van
Cream
Halen
Man.
heyday. Ice Cream Man.
Yep.
Love that song. Beats working. I love the guitar riff in that. I mean, I know about being a weak song. I mean, some people would look at it, but in this game, I mean, this is just. We saw him for this tour, right? Where did we see him? Or no, we saw him.
Philly. Did you guys see them in Philly?
No, I saw him in Philly for the first reunion one,
Oh, so it wasn't.
and then was it
Was it
Bethel Woods?
Woodstock? Was it Woodstock?
Was it Bethel Woods?
Yeah, it was at Bethel
think it
Woods.
was Bethel
that
Woods.
I saw them at Bethel Woods.
What year was that? Everything.
Man, it wasn't that long ago though. It wasn't.
It wasn't. Yeah.
It wasn't for this. It wasn't
No,
for
it
this
wasn't for
album.
this.
I would say
Maybe
it
we
was
seen
later.
first. Anyways,
I don't know. I did see him for this. I can't think of when the fuck it was though, or
Bethel
where it
Woods.
was.
I think you were in Philly. I think you saw them in Philly because I remember one of the pictures of.
See, but I wonder if that was 2007 when they did that North America
That
tour.
that was.
uh,
I'm gonna have to think back. I know I saw him for it because the last tour wasn't for this. It was them just touring again, right?
yeah, it was
Right.
bus trip.
I don't know. It was 2015, so that's probably.
12, 13.
I'll have to look back through the set list and see what they did.
But overall, this is, to me, was phenomenal. I mean, it brought back so many memories. I mean, you can throw this on. It's not a skipper. It's maybe one. And don't ask me why, but this is a great pick. I mean, it's David Lee Roth. Do I have to give it to David Lee Roth?
It's official. We got the.
It seemed like everybody I talked to about this album either love it or hate it, so I don't know.
Right.
You got your diehards everywhere.
Take it. Dylan.
So this is interesting because I remember disliking this album more than I did this time around. I really do enjoy the album. I think they did themselves a major disservice by having Tattoo be the lead single and the lead song on this album because it's the worst fucking song on this entire album. It's not good. I don't like it. It's the only thing on this album that I'll say is just bad. Well, it's like I don't know. It's just so simple, and the lyrics are just like a list of things. Like there's nothing groundbreaking. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Purple Mountain Majesty. It's I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. If you had She's the Woman as the lead song, if you had it as the lead single, that would have been, I think, a much more powerful thing. But honestly, I think the weakest part on this album is Dave. I mean, there are some songs that he sells it, like, Stay Frosty's great and everything. But, like, songs like Tattoo, I don't think he performs it well. But I think he's still good, but I don't know. I don't know if it's... I don't know. But the opening riff on The Trouble with Never is so fucking good. I completely forgot about that riff. That's so cool. It just a wild, like, it's so different for Eddie, but it still sounds, it's got that Eddie sound to it. Blood and Fire, I really didn't like at first, and then once the solo kicks in and it kind of kicks up a bit, I really, really loved it when that happened. I mean, Out of Space, I love. Stay Frosty's fantastic. Chinatown's really good. Honey Baby Sweetie Doll's cool. Like there's some really good instrumental stuff on this album that you forget about until you listen to it back again. And I think it's a really solid album, a solid last album for the band, and better than their worst albums for sure. I wouldn't compare it to Van Halen. It's not of that level, but it's definitely a very good high mid tier Van Halen album, I'll say. Definitely a good last album for Eddie though, because he performs the fuck out of a lot of these songs on this album, and I think Wolf does pretty well for himself too, background vocals and bass wise. He pulls it off really well. You're missing Michael Anthony a little bit with the background vocals, but I think they do a good enough job hitting that
Covering it
without completely just imitating him. So it's a good album. I really enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought that I would enjoy it this listen through. So it was good.
Alrighty, righty.
All right, well, number one, I feel terrible because Dylan's going to have to find someplace else to fucking live now.
I'm just saying, I don't think he's bad. I just think he's the weakest part of the album. You have to agree on that.
I do not agree on that.
Who do you think's the weakest part of the album?
I don't think there's any weak part in this fucking album.
But if you had to pick a weak part.
If I had to pick a weak part, it would be some of the songs.
I'm talking band members here.
Band members? I will say Wolfgang because he's not Michael Anthony on background vocals.
I think Wolf does great.
He does great for him,
but
he's not fucking Michael Anthony.
Wolf has to live up to Michael Anthony. Dave has to live up to himself.
And I thought he comported himself very well. Anyway.
On some songs, I agree.
I remember when this came out, I was bursting. And I like this album because David Lee Roth is the fucking best replacement singer Van Halen ever fucking had. Hands down. Best replacement singer they ever had. I love Tattoo. I think it's fucking fantastic.
It's a terrible song.
I love it. When that came out, I was like, oh my God. Great riff. I love the leads in the opening. The bass I won't say even sounds great. The bass sounds great. I love the vocals. I love Dave's delivery. And throughout this whole album, there's a ton of shit on this album that only David Lee Roth could fucking pull off. I don't give a shit who the fuck it is.
I agree.
I love from Mousewife to Bombshell. I fucking love that. That is such a cool fucking line. Solo when it rips. She's the woman. And I've heard the demo of this a bunch of times too. It's pretty true to the demo.
Yeah.
But it was like Mississippi Queen or some kind of queen, right? This song was that the name of this song? Before
No. They actually kept the song.
Oh, okay.
They kept the name of it.
The start of it kind of reminds me of like an air raid siren. It's got a really cool drum kick-ass riff. Plenty of Eddie friggin' fills. The background vocals are good on this one. I like the "Some Casablanca gin joint. You're a nervous wreck." Reminds me of someone that we work with. Great feel in this one. Fun Van Halen. This album is what I come to Van Halen for, not the stuff on Van Halen 3 and not the whole Sammy catalog, but a lot of it. You and Your Blues. Actually, this one has. I think this is one of the few songs that Sammy Hagar could have pulled off on this album. It has a Van Hagar catalog feel to it on this song, but it's great. It's not a favorite, but it's a good song. I like it, and it's funny because BB thinks it's the best song on the fucking album.
I think it's Dave's best vocal performance.
Okay.
Yes.
Chinatown, got that fretboard tapping in the beginning, the friggin' rocker. It's got a loss of control kind of feel to it. I just like the fast rockers. The solo break is great. And this is one that I talked about it when we did the early Van Halen albums, that power trio. This really comes out in Chinatown during the solo. It's like Michael and Wolfgang going at it and Eddie just fucking tearing it up. Fucking love it. Blood and Fire, this is one that has a decent groove to it. Picks up for the solo, though. Like the beginning of the song, the first time I heard this song, the beginning of the song, I was like, but this one really grew on me. Fantastic song. Bullet Head. I remember BB, we were talking the one day, and he goes, Casey's walking around the house singing, Bullet Head. I remember, and she was only little then, too. Really cool. Good song. I like it. As is, slowed up a little bit. of a everybody wants some kind of tribal drum thing kind of slowed down in the beginning, which is kind of cool. Great song. There's different tempo changes in this one. The solo, I'm like a broken record. The solos are fucking awesome. Cool Dave, spoken word, fucking love it. And that's another thing. Like a lot of the spoken word parts, like only David Lee Roth could fucking pull them off on some of these songs. Honey Baby Sweetie Doll, it's got like a weird kind of thing at the beginning. I'm like, what the fuck? It almost hurts your ears in the headphones. The guitar tone is a little different in this one. Great though, the bass is great. I think I hear a dog bark somewhere in this song. There's one part I think I hear a dog like bark once in this.
Because Dave
song.
had at this time when he was recording and if you watch some of there was like like 3 or 4 songs that they released. It was like black and white. Mm-hmm. It was called like the Downtown Sessions or something. He has his dog with him, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm gonna have to listen to what I can swear. There's a fucking just one bark though. Trouble with Never, love it. When you turn on your stereo, does it return the favor? Awesome fucking line.
That's a good line.
When was the last time he did something for the first time? Another classic line is fucking fantastic. Out of Space, we talked about this song before, just a balls out rocker kick-ass song. More power trio stuff going on there. Stay Frosty, Ice Cream Man Part 2. This is another song that only David Lee Roth can fucking pull off. I don't give a shit what anybody says. The song is pretty much Dave just like talking, but it's fucking cool as fuck. You go to the east, you go to the west, you go to the south, and they're very cool. Solo just fucking tears it up like its predecessor, Part 1, actual Ice Cream Man. Big River, I like the feel to it. It's a fun one. Solo kills it on there. Beats working. Different kind of song. I think they could have left this song off. I think I do like the brevity of the songs. That how short they are. This song really does nothing for me. I think they definitely could have left this one off. And actually, even the solo, the first solo, I'm like, ugh, like that's not really a great Eddie Van Halen solo, which you don't hardly ever say or think. But the second part rips though. But I think Beats Working probably could have been left off of there. And I think you could throw I don't know. There's
Tattoo.
I think it's no.
Yes.
No.
Beats Working and Tattoo.
No.
The 2 bookends.
No.
Just like I said.
Next week it'll just be me and BC. But I love it. I was so happy when this album came out. It's one that I will throw on. I will throw Out of Space. She's the Woman. Even Tattoo. Stay Frosty. I will throw them on playlists like all the time. I love the hell out of this album. I thought it was fantastic. And actually, we saw Van Halen the last time, September 5th, 2015, up at Bethel Woods. And the first time I saw them, or the time before that, I did see them in Philadelphia, March 5th, 2012. And I'm looking for the date on the first tour that they did in Philadelphia.
Sometime in 07.
It was either October 1st or October 3rd in Philadelphia, because the Phillies were in like a wild card playoff game or something. It was one of the first years they did that. And literally the baseball game traffic was going out as the concert traffic was going in. So it was a pain in the ass going across that bridge and stuff. But it cleared out pretty quick though. So either October 1st or 3rd, 2007. And then, I got to see Van Halen 3 times when they got back with Dave, which I'm glad, so that makes, 5 or 6 times that I've seen them. So, good album. Love it. Absolutely fucking love it. And so, everybody went, right?
Yep.
So, there's our 4 albums. Woo! BC had Deal with the Devil, Lizzy Borden. Dylan had
Black Gives Way to Blue.
Gives Way to Blue. That's another one that they'll mess up, like the black and the red and the red and the black. And I had Blood of the Nations from Accept, and BB had A Different Kind of Truth from Van Halen. So, like I said, I've been waiting a long time to do this specific episode. Like I literally had this written down like 2 years ago, and it just we never got to get it off the ground. So when I was scheduling stuff, I'm like, let's do it, this year. I had a really good time doing these ones, and we'll go around, we'll wrap up, rank the albums when we go around, and I'll do my spiel at the end. So, Dylan.
Yeah, this is a fun episode. Everybody picked a really good album. I don't think there was there wasn't a bad album. I think that we talked about today. If I had to rank them, I'd probably go Accept number 1 for sure, because that album kicks fucking ass. I'd go Alice in Chains. I'd go Lizzy Borden, because that album surprised me, and Van Halen. But they're all like right up there with each other, because I really enjoy a little bit of everything from each of the albums. But it's just, I've known some of the albums longer, and I like certain songs more than others, so it kind of scoped out that way. And you can listen to a selection of the songs from each of the albums on our Spotify playlist of the week. Make sure to put some of the best songs on there for you to listen to in case you don't want to listen to the whole albums. But I encourage you, definitely check these albums out, because there's some really great material on there from bands that people might have either written off as done, or bands that maybe took a long break and came back with a vengeance. And let us know what your favorite comeback albums from your favorite bands are, because there are so many that we could have covered today. One of the ones that I was thinking of was Death Magnetic from Metallica, after Saint Anger, but I decided to go with Alice in Chains because we don't really talk about them as much. So let us know what your favorites are, and if you like the albums that we put forward.
And this is probably won't be the only comeback album.
No.
I mean, there's so many more we could do, and I'm sure we will definitely be doing it again somewhere. It won't be within 3. It'll be within the 3 years. Since we did the first one. So
Yeah.
BB.
Yes, definitely a great episode, and it's funny how pretty much our 4 albums are totally different from each other. You got the really heavy to the melodic heavy to the sometimes almost like radio poppy heavy to Dylan's emotional, deep, dark sadness album. I just love how it's like it evolved. Like they're all different. Mm-hmm. But if I had to rank them, I'm gonna be a cranky bitch, and I'm gonna say mine is number 1. And I never do this because it's been done before, but I've never done it. It's gonna be a tie. It's gonna be Lizzy Borden and Alice in Chains tied for 2. Because I can't pick which one is better, only because there has to be one that's last. Righties has to be 3rd. You're not 4th. You're 3rd.
Oh, good. I thought he was gonna put me 6th or something.
Just the way the apple fell.
Interesting. So it's like the opposite of my list.
So it is.
Yeah.
It's
My
going to be
ranking.
just me and you next week, BC.
I didn't say 4th. You're 3rd.
I put,
You're not last,
I
you're
put
third.
your album number 1.
Yeah, but you dissed Dave.
You just, I don't care where you put it, you just fucking Dave.
I'm taking my
not
microphone and
allowed
going
in my
home.
house.
Say it, Dylan.
Yeah.
Again, this is fun. Like you said, there's more albums out there we can do, but I mean, I think every single album here was good, and they all had their own merits for different reasons. Some maybe for some of the same reasons, but oh man, to rank them, I'm gonna put Lizzy Borden last because that's my pick. I love it. But between you guys, I gotta go with the Accept. I just love that heaviness that they came back with, and they continue with today. Mm-hmm. And then I'm a Dave guy, so I gotta go with Van Halen, and then Alice in Chains. But I mean, each of them are and Alice in Chains probably was I don't know, the word surprise is my word I'm looking for, but because how do you replace Lane Staley?
Yeah.
I mean, he's an icon in that era, so to say. How do you replace him? I mean, they came out with that album, overall very good because it stays true to them. I mean, they were dark. They weren't always like facelift, but overall they were very good. I mean, how can you go around David Lee Roth and Accept? I just love that tone and their albums, and the vocals are just like you said, same neighborhood, but
All right. Yeah, I had fun doing this one. Like I said, I've been waiting for a long time to do this episode, and I've been waiting for a long time to do just the Accept album. I love it. It's one of my top 10 albums that came out in this era, and this is the album I ordered it on vinyl from Germany in mid-November. It shipped from It shipped from Germany the 19th of November, and I got it like 2 weeks ago. So I'm just glad that it came, and I absolutely love it. And it was fun doing this one. Like you said, like Dylan said, there's a ton of albums we could do that are considered comeback albums. And I have it written down somewhere, the albums we were initially going to do when we were going to do this topic. And I think the Metallica one was one that was on the list, and I forget what the other ones were. But fun episode, absolutely. So we'll be revisiting this topic, down the line. But it's always fun doing these with you guys. It's fun getting everybody's, thoughts on, what the albums are and, the whole deal that we've done 100 times. But I'm going to have to rank them. This was a tough one to rank. It really was.
No, it is.
I've been I got to go with the Van Halen album first, because I've been Van Halen, all the way besides Kiss since I think 79. I think I started really getting into Van Halen, and it was 76 with Kiss before that. So then I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna be a wuss like BB. I'm gonna go for a tie for second and third. Lizzy Borden, accept. I forgot how much I really, really liked. Like, I've always remembered how much I really loved the Accept album, but I forgot how much I really liked the Lizzy Borden album. It's the salt. I mean, there's nothing on that album that I don't like. There's not a skippable song on there for me. And the only reason Alice in Chains falls into fourth is because there are a couple ones that I would skip. But the ones that I like on that album, I really like. And, we talked about it before. Alice in Chains, they're a band that I don't think could have changed. That they needed to be the Alice in Chains that you knew and loved when they came back. Because if they came back sounding different or just different, you know what I mean? I don't think it would have been accepted. Because, like, a lot of bands that if they change someone, it's not the same. Like Van Halen, I think their sound and attitude changed when they went from Dave to Sammy, and it got way better when Dave came back. And but like I don't think Alice in Chains could have pulled it off like that. I really don't. Like, if they came out sounding any different, I mean, they still had the heaviness, they had the Alice in Chains moan, and and that just shows you that Jerry Cantrell is really the ingredient that you need in that band.
That's why they only gave William Duvall one song, kind of slowly.
Yeah, just get him.
I would have threw him another bong, maybe give him one more, put it like.
But he
7 or
sings
8.
dual vocals throughout the album too,
God,
but just like alone.
Yep.
Yeah. So thanks everybody for listening. So for me, it's gonna be Van Halen. I got a tie, Accept and Lizzy Borden, both fantastic albums. And then Alice in Chains in fourth. Well, third, right?
Yeah.
So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode. It was fun to do. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up. What's even next week? Next week's going to be a cool one because Dylan's going to be the host for the next one, so which is going to be cool. Which I like when someone else takes the reins too. So we have some cool ones coming up, and so Dylan's going to be in charge next week. And thanks once again, Sonny Pooney, for your insanity of your random thoughts, which are really fun to do. And thanks everybody out there. Hope everybody's staying safe out there, getting your shots if you believe in it. If you don't, let people do their own fucking thing. And actually all 4 of us here are fully vaccinated, and we're still alive and kicking. We didn't grow an extra head or nothing or anything like that. Well, not that we know of anyway. Not that anybody's saying.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, you guys out there. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we will see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.